Today, you're going to expand your vocabulary with common C1 nouns, advanced nouns, to help you sound very fluent and professional in English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. First, I'm going to quiz you to see how well you know these C1 nouns. Don't worry if you don't know any, because the purpose of this quiz is just to understand where you are now, to assess your level. And then after, I'll explain every C1 noun in detail, and then you'll complete the quiz again, and I promise you, your score from the beginning to the end is going to be very different, and you're going to feel very proud of your accomplishment. So let's start the test. Question 1, she's a good detective. We can trust her. Now, I'm only going to give you 3 seconds to answer, so hit pause if you need more time, and then hit play when you're ready. Her inferences. Question 2, have you always had towards languages an inclination? Question 3, choosing between studying abroad or staying home close to family is a dilemma. Question 4, learning a new language is a worthwhile endeavor. Question 5, the word freedom has positive, for most people, connotations. Question 6, lockdowns during COVID created a lot of controversy. Question 7, there was a big in the election results. Disparity. Question 8, JForrest English lessons act as in my language learning, a catalyst. Question 9, she gets her friendly from her mother. Disposition. Question 10, your is your best quality. Resilience. So was that quiz difficult for you? It probably was, but don't worry because you haven't learned these yet. So now I'm going to teach you each C1 noun in detail, and then you'll do that quiz again, and I promise your score will improve. Disparity. Disparity. This is a noticeable difference or inequality between things, often in terms of quantity, quality, or status. For example, there is a significant disparity in income levels between the rich and poor in this city. Remember grammatically that we're talking about nouns. So pay attention to if the noun requires an article or if not, because it's either an exception or it's uncountable. In this case, we have a disparity. We need an article. There's a modifier, a significant disparity. The article is conjugated with the modifier. So if you need a or an, it depends on what directly comes after the article. A significant disparity. Resilience. Resilience. This is a concept, and it's when you can recover quickly from challenges or difficulties. For example, the community's resilience was evident in how quickly they rebuilt after the devastating earthquake. So there was this devastating earthquake that destroyed the homes, but the city's resilience, their ability to recover quickly from challenges or difficulties, allowed them to rebuild the home. And notice that the resilience, it belongs to the city. The city's resilience. Dilemma. Dilemma. That's fun to say. Dilemma. This is a difficult situation or problem where a choice must be made between two options, but they're equally undesirable. So both of the options aren't very good, but you have to make a decision. That's a dilemma. And notice that article, a dilemma. For example, she faced a dilemma between taking a high-paying job she didn't enjoy or pursuing her passion for art, but with an uncertain income. So she can take the high-paying job, but she doesn't like it. Or she can pursue art, but there's no money. So that's a dilemma because both of those options have undesirable qualities. Endeavor. Endeavor. This is a serious or determined effort to achieve something, especially something challenging or worthwhile. For example, the team made every endeavor to complete the project ahead of schedule. Notice here, because it's a noun, we sometimes require other grammatical structures to make it complete. And here you make an endeavor. Otherwise, we could actually use endeavor as a verb. The team endeavored to complete the project. But this lesson is teaching you nouns. And in this case, endeavor is also a noun, but you make an endeavor. In this example, it's made every endeavor. So we have our verb make in the past simple. And because every implies there was more than one, we don't have an article. Made every endeavor. But endeavor is a noun that doesn't take a plural form. So the noun is plural, but we don't add an S to it. Inclination. Inclination. This is a natural tendency or preference towards something. His inclination towards music led him to pursue a career as a professional musician. So he has a natural tendency towards music, or simply he has a preference. And because of that preference, he's pursuing a career as a musician. His inclination. And notice the inclination belongs to him. His inclination towards music. Catalyst. Catalyst. A catalyst is something that speeds up a significant change or that causes a significant change. For example, the new technology served as a catalyst for the company's rapid expansion into international markets. So in this case, the catalyst is the new technology. And the new technology allowed the company to speed up a significant change, which in this case is expanding into international markets. Or it simply caused that significant change. So either they were in the process of doing this or they started it as a new project. But the new technology was the catalyst. It sped it up or it caused it. Disposition. Disposition. This is a person's inherent qualities of mind and character, or you can think of it as one's temperament or nature. For example, her cheerful disposition made her a joy to be around, even in difficult situations. So here, her disposition is the noun, and it simply represents her character, her personality. And then we have an adjective, her cheerful disposition. And in that case, it sounds like a positive disposition, but somebody could have a negative disposition. His angry disposition made him a negative person to be around, to completely change the example to the opposite. Connotation. Connotation. This is the emotional or cultural associations that a word has beyond its literal meaning. So let's take the word home. Literally, a home is where you live. That's the literal meaning. But what other connotations are there with the word home? We could say the word home has positive connotations of warmth and security. So that's the emotional characteristics that the word has beyond its literal meaning. That's the connotation. Controversy. Controversy. I'm sure you know this one. This is a prolonged public dispute or debate, often involving opposing views or conflicting opinions. For example, the new government policy sparked a controversy among citizens and politicians alike. Sparked a controversy. Here, the word spark simply means created. The controversy only exists because of this new policy. And remember, the controversy is that there are opposing views, conflicting ideas. So there's going to be some sort of debate and is going to be a prolonged debate, a longer than usual debate because it's a controversy. Inference. Inference. This is a conclusion reached based on evidence and reasoning rather than direct observation. So I could look at something and reach a conclusion. That's direct observation. But maybe I don't have the advantage of looking at something. So I have to use evidence and reasoning to reach that conclusion. That's inference. This is something that detectives do because detectives don't always get to simply look at something, to directly observe it. For example, from the clues provided, so the clues, that's the reasoning and the evidence. From the clues provided, the detective made a crucial inference about the suspect's location. So the detective reached a conclusion about the suspect's location, not based on observation, because if you could observe where a suspect is, well, then you would know exactly where that person is. But the detective didn't know. He had to use inference, the clues, to determine that. Now that you're more comfortable with this vocabulary, let's do the quiz again. Here are the questions. Hit pause, take as much time as you need, and when you're ready to see the answers, hit play. Here are the answers. Hit pause, take as much time as you need to review the answers, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. So, did your score improve? I'm sure it did. Now I want you to post your quiz results from the first quiz and the second quiz in the comments below so you can motivate and inspire other students because they see how much progress they can make in this short period of time. So post your scores in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And you can keep improving your vocabulary with this lesson right now.